Well, good morning, YouTubers. This is Saturday, February 11th. Here's my take on the international situation. From all I've been gathering from various sources on the web, all of which I take with a grain of salt, it looks very much like there was a plan 10 or more years ago to change, do a lot of regime change in the Middle East, eliminating secular governments, and replacing them effectively because of the direction the people had already been lured in before these toppling events occurred, with Islamic radicalist people, which would make the clash of civilizations theory possible to play out. And some elites make a lot of money from this and build power on that. But you need an enemy, okay? Well, his target may not be the best one. Iran is tightly related to Russia and China, who are on very good terms with each other. A lot of people don't seem to realize all this. Apparently, some elements in the Israeli government and intelligence have been trying to slow this business down. One guy allegedly got fired from Israeli intelligence, or was it the military, I forget which officer, because he was trying to avoid this war with Iran thing. Apparently some elements among us are working against it, but there's an enormous amount of military personnel and material moved into the area, and someone has said that when things get to a certain tipping point as far as amount of weapons and people available, the war becomes inevitable. Because the Syrian situation, the Russians are already moving into the area, the Chinese have a huge population, consider themselves overpopulated. It's been estimated by one YouTuber that the female section of the Chinese army alone, which are combat trained and under arms, is more than the population of the entire United States, or roughly equal to it. They can afford to lose a lot of people and probably want to lose a lot of people. If we attack Iran, these two are going to come in to back Iran up. It has been suggested by one person that the plan will be to attack Iran while Russia is undergoing its election, because this will keep it distracted, but that still leaves China in play. And since I doubt there is any segment of the Russian political spectrum that would want to have Iran overrun, since their relationship with them is so good, I would imagine this really wouldn't make that much difference. So, given the combined might of these people, I rather think that if we go ahead and attack Iran, my guess is if Israel attacks Iran and we don't back them up, the situation will fizzle. Russia and China will view it as a regional matter, but if we're in it, it's part of that game of empire, and they'll attack us, and we'll lose. I figure what probable scenario would be Russian troops would probably come across the Bering Strait after initial attacks to, just like on a chessboard, knock out the long-range pieces. After the initial attacks, it would be on the, missiles and stuff. Take out military bases and Maybe if we're extremely unlucky, a high altitude blast that doesn't do anything to the ground except an electromagnetic pulse will take out the electric infrastructure. Um, and then, of course, if they're using kind of enhanced fuel air explosive, they can do a lot of damage without using nuclear weapons, and therefore no radioactive residue to worry about. You come across the Bering Straits into Alaska. Offshore artillery can control the coast of Canada. If Canada won't give them free passage, just come down the coast on the sea and on the ground into the lower 48. As I say, of historic interest in the Pacific Northwest, Northern California down to Fort Ross, which has its name from Russia. The bear in the California flag is the Russian bear. They were there before the Spanish were. They might conceivably, and the Chinese seem to have been getting involved in relating with, and Russians also, with people south of the border. Chances are this is going to be a situation where California, I don't know how the rest of the place would be, would probably be split between the two of them on some line that might begin at Fort Ross and go straight across to Nevada, or farther south in San Francisco and go straight across to Nevada. The interstate freeway system, which was originally built partly with a view to moving American troops fast as needed from one coast to another, dealing with whatever attack, would of course be in use for defense purposes, but also be in use for invasion purposes. So I would expect a lot of the fighting throughout the country to be along the interstates. And basically, I think large segments of the United States will end up annexed to Russia and China. In fact, there was some defector 20 years ago, I think it was, showed a map that was what Chinese long-range military theoreticians were coming up with in terms of Greater China, which included parts of Canada and the United States. The eastern section of the United States might end up falling under British rule somehow or another. Or it might not. Yeah, this is a very, very bad idea to go to war with Iran, and I'm not the only person who's viewing this scenario. This, I'm the only one I know who's speculating into details like this, though, is how it might divvy up the country. Anyway, that's what I think.